Hi, my name is Terry Lee from Sweet Pea Papers, and this is video 3 in our series of One Digital Kit, Two Ways, a collaboration with Lisa Fisher. Her Facebook and YouTube links are going to be down below this video, and then that way you can click on them and go over there. And of course, she's doing a video every other day, and I'm doing a video every other day. So there will be a video every day on this series. Can't believe I forgot to mention that in videos 1 and 2. Now you can go back and watch the first 4. So what we're going to do, where we left off, was putting on the ribbons and putting together the book and all that good stuff. And so now in video 3, we're going to do the covers. We're going to make a cardboard template, which you'll see what we're going to use that for in just a minute. Plus we're going to do pages 1 and 2. So let's get going here. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and tape the top. There are people going up and down the stairs right outside my apartment, so let's see if the crazy dog's upstairs and my crazy dog all start barking. We'll see. All right, so we want to put this on very close to the edge, but I don't really want to have to cut it off at the edge. So I'm going to try to go to right about here, bring it out just a little bit more, and then let's see if I can cut it in a straight line. Yeah. Of course not. That's all right. Well, we're going to have the lace over the top, but yeah, you're going to see that. So let me take this off. And I'm going to trim the ends up. Can't remember if I moved my board forwards or not to make for it to be at my working. No, I think I did. My working space or your working vision. Heck with you guys. That's my story and I'm sticking to it. Okay, so it looks like we can come down farther. Now that's going to be too short. Let's see what I got over here in my spare pieces from when we were doing things earlier. That one looks like an extra one from the bottom. Let's use it for the top. Okay, looks like there's a little piece of paper on there from where I took it off. So we'll make sure that that's at the across the top where the lace is going to be. Okay, I think I got very, very lucky. So if you want to make your life easier, I guess, cut one that fits across the bottom before you're completely done. Take it off and then use it for the one at the top so you don't have to trim the edges. Once again, that's my story and I'm sticking to it. There we go. So now we've got the top done. Now you could leave it like this if you wanted. There's nothing wrong with that. This does look like it needs to be trimmed just a little bit on the back. Oh. You didn't hear me make that little screamy noise. But see, you want to make sure that everything is stuck down to everything. You don't want it to bubble out like that when you open it. And that's another reason to put the lace on the top. Let's see what it does now. Yeah, it's better. But I still, I'm still not particularly wild about that. So we're definitely going to put something across the top. I also wanted to mention, I said before, oh, this is white, we can't use it. But look at all the white that's on here along with the tan. So we could, or we could tea dye this. I'm still kind of leaning towards this. Even though it's directional, I just realized that, and it's pretty open. So I guess it's between these two. So I'm not sure exactly. This one looks like it might have has a black spot on it. Is there still enough? Yeah, there's still enough. I'll have to use that part for a cluster I'm not very good at doing those, so maybe if I do more of them, I'll get better at them. All right. Now, just because we're going to try to get through this, we're going to try to do 5 videos, but I'm pretty sure it's going to end up being 6. I want to look at the big note that says tape the top first. In case you're wondering about all these little notes, like what all that paper she uses up, I just take one piece of typing paper and I cut it up into a bunch of little squares, and you would not believe how many you can get from one piece of typing paper. You'll have plenty of notes for a while. One paper clip back into the paper clip holder. This says cover and back. And this one is our cover. Looks pretty with the ribbon, doesn't it? And we're going to do some additional stuff. Oh, I also wanted to mention the end of the last video when we were talking about different elements and things you could use. I know in the beginning I probably showed you the ephemera that came with the kit, but I believe at the end of the video I had said something about there not being pockets and tags. I've got a bunch of stuff set aside, paper clips to the pages we're going to use them on, which are pockets and tags. And then there's a whole bunch of smaller stuff. And there's these little blue fussy cut butterflies. Let me get them out for you. Little blue, very pretty, little blue fussy cut butterflies. And I'm going to put them on the front. Then I'm going to take my black glitter pen, and you won't be able to see it very well on camera, and that's why I'm telling you ahead of time what I'm going to do, and color it, and it makes the little bodies glitter. And then we're going to, you know, pull the wings up a little bit so they're more 3D. So I just wanted to clear that up, and I wanted to apologize to Victoria, who's the creator of this kit, if she's watching these videos and she about had a coronary at the end of the other one. I think you guys will be happy to know that we're very, very, almost, pretty much, as far as I can tell, done with the micropore tape, unless there are elements you want to use it on. You're probably screaming, no, no more tape. I can hear you, I really can. Now, I cut these pages ahead of time and I inked them, so you don't have to watch me do any of that. I even labeled them cover and back. Did you? Did you do your homework from last time and pick out your papers and decide where they're going to go based on the elements that we talked about? I hope so. That will make your life much easier. You know what? Let's take the tape off our scissors and put our scissors where they go. Because a crazy Terry is a bad Terry. Well, okay. A Terry that's going crazy because things are not where they are is worse than a crazy Terry. I've been working hard too, so my nails have been shredded, so just don't look at that. Of course, now you're going to, now that I mentioned it. All right, I refilled my glue, so let's see. Woohoo! Lots of glue coming out. And for those of you who are just starting in the middle of the series, the reason I put this little glob in the corners is so that I can move it around a little bit until I get it in the exact right spot that I want. Okay. You know, I might do a little bit extra right in here where the ties are, just to make sure. Got to get that pin back in there so the glue doesn't thicken up. Okay. Make sure these are laid out flat. Okay. And then we're going to take our paper, making sure it's right side up. It's always a good plan. We're going to lay it on here with a little bit of the tape showing all the way around. Check it and make sure that it's laying straight on the cover. Well, it looks pretty. I like that. Now, with the tea dye color, it's a lighter color than Antique Photo. And I thought with this color tape and the manila folders and these lighter color tans in this paper that it would look much better. Go ahead and smooch where the ribbons are as well. The tea dye would look better. It's not very dark, but it does knock the white off the edges, and it gives you just a little bit of a color around the edges of the paper. Okay, so now we're going to flip it over and we're going to do the same thing on the back. I almost grabbed my glass of pop and used it instead of the glue. I don't know about you, but I definitely don't think it would have worked as well. A little bit extra where the ribbons are. I know the way I'm holding this, it probably looks like I'm squeezing the life out of it, but with these Sweet Sugar Bell bottles, these are, you can get them on Amazon. They're for cake frosting, cake decorating, and they're very soft-sided. The Fabrifix and Fabri-Tac bottles, I find, are too hard for me to squeeze, or too difficult. Well, they're hard, and that makes it too difficult to squeeze. Okay, we're going to do this exactly the same way. We're going to smooch it down where the ties are. Wow, I got it in the right spot too, because you can feel it because it's cold. I'm going to put the cover on the back. We're not going to do anything else to the back, and you'll see why later. It is and will be a surprise. So now we've got this, and that's very pretty. I like that, and then we'll tie it here on either side. We'll have the extra butterflies on the front. These flowers are so pretty. I'm not sure I want to put anything else on the front to take away from it, like a cluster. You could put a cluster right there if you wanted to. That might be pretty, and then your butterflies. Like I said, I'm not going to do that in this series of videos. I'm going to put the butterflies on at the end, but we're not going to go through all that. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to do page 1. All the odd number pages are the flip up pages. So on number 1, and we're going to work on the paper. I mean, we're working on the paper anyway, but we're working on the paper and not on putting the paper on the book first. Cut, edges inked. Okay? Then what we're going to do is, this is one of the writing cards from the kit and a tag from the kit. Now the tag I printed out with I got a kit online at Etsy, and it was all just tea dyed papers, and I use it to print out on the back so it looks like it's tea dyed paper on the back, but it's not. This one I forgot. This one I made this bookmark. I know it's a little fat, but I don't think bookmarks all have to be tall and skinny. And I liked the butterflies. Since I cut it from a scrap paper, it is also not tea dye on the back, and I'll show you what we're going to do with that in just a minute. So let's do this part first. Now I haven't decided. I'm going to make a couple of the circles first. I'm going to cut this brown part off now that I look at it. I'm going to keep that ink out where we can see it so we don't forget. You'll see why I'm doing this in just a second, because I'm doing it to just make sure I don't accidentally use the paper where that little bit of brown is. Even though it wouldn't hurt anything, but it's different. It's not for what I want to use it for particularly. And I've been saving all my scraps. I don't know if you guys know, but I always make a collage, or almost always make a collage at the end. I don't have a whole lot of scraps, so I may not have enough. Okay, moving on. So what I'm planning on doing is putting some circles up the side of this page. I'm trying to decide whether I'm going to do 3 1.5-inch circles or 4 1-inch circles. I think it would be easier to center 3 1.5-inch circles. The only problem I have is I'm wondering if they're going to, well, it doesn't matter because when you put the stuff on, it's going to cover the door until you take the stuff out anyway. So let's make a couple of the bigger ones and see how big they are. Now you're going to push this all the way in to make a full circle. And this is just a scrap piece of paper. Oh no, I think that'll be fine. And I was trying to decide whether to use plain paper or this daisy paper. There's daisies on here, or not daisies, but these little white flowers. And I think that's okay. I was worried about the yellow background, but I think that's going to work fine. And I think we might be able to get away with 3. Because I'd like to keep that in the bottom if I could, this little. So let's do 3. Yeah, I think 3 will work. You can see my board tip because it's not flat. It's a little balancing act that I do. Just for you guys. Okay, I'll put that in with the scraps. I can put my 1-inch away. Okay, now we're going to take these circles, and I was going to put 3 circles on the other side and then slide a writing card down in there, which you totally can do depending on what paper you've decided to use. But for what we're going to do, I think just 3 down one side is going to work. And I think I'm going to do them just right there. Now we're only going to glue the outer third. Now these have writing on them. So let's make sure the writing is the right side up. There's writing on this one. There's writing on this one. So let's get out our ink. Almost wondering. No, that should hold it on. This is really good glue, so just putting a little on the side. Make sure not to move it around too much. I think I put a little extra glue on there. Okay. Oh, and guess what I forgot to do? Can you all guess? That's why I left the ink out. Normally I try not to have to ink anything on camera, but I have to wait until I cut them out before I can ink them. See, that looks much better. There's still enough ink on the paper and enough ink on the circle. You guys almost let me do that. I could probably, if I'd listened hard enough, I probably could have heard you guys yelling in the background. No! And now I moved them from where I wanted them as well. I guess I could do it again. Okay, right side up, right above this. This one, right side up. I guess this one's going to have to go just a smidge lower. Yeah, that looks equal to me. Try to put them the same distance away from the edge as each other. My finger really wants to stick. It's called duplicators, contracture. And I'll tell you, I don't know what's worse, having my finger get stuck, like that one just did, or the shots into my tendons that I have to get to help it. They take a great big needle and they stick it right in the sheath that goes around your... Okay, looks like we're all dry. And that's actually it for this page. I'm pretty sure. Let me look at my notes. The circles. Oh, if you don't have a bookmark, which there's not a bookmark that comes with this kit, which is perfectly fine. You hardly ever see a bookmark with anything, and they're not that hard to make, probably because they're just a big rectangle. So I just cut this out. I can tell you, if you want one this size, it's 2.5 by 5 1/4. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take these two and set that aside for a minute. We're done with our glue for right now. And what you're going to do is you're going to take a piece of cardboard and you're going to peel the paper off so that it looks like this. Okay? Now, this is the easiest way I know to make what look like handmade lines across the paper. So what we're going to do, now I've already inked around the edges of this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to ink this, and then I'm going to use it like a stamp. All right. So now the question is, am I going to use this? Is it going to be dark enough? Oh, it looks like it will. You just have to look. It doesn't have to be the exact right size, same size. I mean, it can be if you want it to be. And you have to do it fairly quickly. And you can see the lines on the back side of the cardboard. So you know if you've gotten it pretty straight. And you can see, now this one isn't solid and the colors aren't very dark. I'm trying to see if you can even see it on camera. There you go. So you can see that it looks like lines across the paper so that you have somewhere to write. I'm going to do the same thing for the bookmark. Only I'm probably going to lay the bookmark down on the... And this isn't a very dark ink, and this does use up your ink. So, you know, you may not want to do it all the time. And if you have a bigger ink pad, then, you know, you may not worry about it. I tried to get another antique photo in this size, even in the little one, I mean vintage photo. And all I could find is the oxide. And you know, the oxide is the one that reacts with the water and it's kind of powdery or whatever. Okay, look, it worked even better on here. You can see them. So now they both have lines on them. This one already looks like tea stained. So then you just take this and you set it aside. Just like I've set aside the one that I've done in red. Okay, and you just set them to the side and you can use them over and over again. I probably could have used the tan ink on top of the other one because it it doesn't react once it's dried, the distress ink. But I just wanted to make sure that, plus the piece was a little large. So if you make different sized ones, then you've got ones for little writing cards, big writing cards, you know, all kinds of different stuff. So now we're going to put this paper in the book. Making sure to keep your eye on your ribbons. You see on here I wrote page 1 needs circles. But this is a different way to, here I say keep an eye on your ribbon, and my elbow almost put the ribbon right in the glue. And I don't know why I do this bottom corner first, because half the time I drag my elbow across the glue, and that's never good. Okay. Now remember, you're going to have these ribbons here. I don't know if I can say this enough, because you're doing behind the cover. Now, you may want to hold your ephemera to the side, labeled with the page that it goes to. I think that turned out nice. You could even glue a couple more butterflies. You'd have to reprint out that page with that ephemera, or you could, please forgive me, you could go to Pinterest or some other nature website and get some pictures of some blue butterflies and cut them out. Yeah, so you could do that. But the whole plan is that when it's done, you're just going to stick this card under the circles, and you're going to stick the bookmark and the tag under there as well. Okay, if this kind of comes up a little too much, then just take the tag out and put the 2 in. It also may mean you got them jammed in there too far. As long as it holds it in. Now this is fairly flat. You know, you could probably still work on the book without, you know, having trouble. But page 2, gee, I'm tempted. No, paper clip these back together. I threw away the paper that said page 1. So any ephemera I hold to the side. I'm going to try to remember to keep the tag. And I'm going to need an ephemera pile that's not the actual ephemera box. Here we go. So I know what goes where. Okay. Now, on this next one, I'm going to put you on pause here. I've been having trouble with the video's size and transferring it from my laptop over to my memory card. So now that you have all that extra information, I'm going to put you on pause, and then when we come back, we're going to do page 2. Okay, we're back. Da 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 da. Should have played some of that Jeopardy music for you. So on page 2, we're going to have a CD cover, and it's going to be a pocket. So let's close this up and move it out of the way. So you're going to want to get out your page 2 papers. These are all my page 2 papers. This is what you're going to need. I don't have any ephemera for this yet, some of these, I'm just going to leave it up to you to what kind of ephemera you use. And then, of course, the very last video in the series will be a flip through. So here I have my CD cover, and I've already inked it, and I've inked around the circle, right? Because we are going to cut out the hole in the middle, not the cellophane, but we're going to cut the paper so that it has a hole in the center. This is the paper that I decided to use for the back. This is the writing card. Guess what we're going to do to that? This is the front cover for the CD, which is exactly the size, but there's a reason for that, and then we'll trim a smidge. This is the inside paper, so that when you take the card out, you'll see this paper. It's the same as the circles we just made, tying everything together. This will be the paper that's on the back, because we're going to be able to flip this up. And so this is the paper that'll be on the back, and that'll look pretty with that. All right. Are you ready? Is everybody ready? All right, I'm taking a swallow of pop before we go into this one. Okay, now, some of you that I envy have the ability to cut out a circle. I am not one of those people. The only way I would be able to do it is if I took one of these CDs covers, tore the plastic out, and used this circle as a template, which you totally could do. Make a template out of a CD cover. I make templates out of stuff all the time. So the first thing actually that you're going to do is you're going to take your CD and unglue it, your CD paper. And it doesn't matter if it gets a little raggedy, we're going to cover it, but let's not get too carried away and just rip the heck out of it. All right, so what we get is we get the back. Now the back, let me look at the measurements. I wrote them on the stuff. The back is a little bit smaller because of it's on the inside, right? Not the outside. A little bit smaller than the rest of the papers. So the back, or the inside, is 4 3/4 high and 4 13/16 wide. Now I made it a little bit narrower because we've got the window, and so instead of trying to glue it right to the edges or whatever, all we're going to do is glue this so we know that it covers the window. So this is what you'll see when we take the card out. So all we have to do now is glue the back paper on, which I did get a little carried away tearing that. So we're just going to glue it in the center. Not the center, but the complete edges won't be glued. Now, if you're able to put glue on yours and then just slide it in the opening and get it to stick to the back without any trouble, then I say go for it. That's what I say. If, however, you're like me, and now the end that's going to open is going to be this end, because we're going to trim it. Okay, so now we got that glued down. So now we can take this and we can just, now these were on the inside before, but we're going to put them on the outside now so you won't see them anywhere. So now we can just glue this shut again, only backwards. Doesn't have to be perfect. I mean, it needs to be lined up and everything, but it doesn't need to be glued super duper because we're going to put paper on top of it too. So we just need it to hold. And it helps hold that paper on the inside too. Okay, so we've got that glued back together. So we're zooming right along. Now, we can put the paper on the back. Now remember, which I didn't, and I put the paper in sideways, that it's going to open like this. So we want to put the flower on right side up. Now these are 5 by 5, and I cut this just a smidge smaller so that you would be able to see the inked paper around the edges. Probably put some butterflies on here. Actually, that's not what we're going to do. I may need to put you on pause because I just remembered what I was going to do, and then I forgot that I was going to do it. So I didn't cut it out ahead of time. I mean, it's not going to hurt you, I guess, to watch me, but I'm trying to keep the video times. So like I said, we're trying to do 5 videos because we want to both be doing the same number of videos, which is challenging. Okay, it's going to open. It's going to be on the paper this way. This way. No, it's going to be on the paper this way. So when it opens out, this is going to be the way it goes. So CD opening, the regular one that was already there, until we are now gluing it shut. Well, I guess we're not, but we should have been. So let's put a little bead of glue in here, because we definitely want it closed. If you get a little extra glue, a dried out baby wipe, clean of course, just lay it out and let it air dry, but it doesn't have lint on it, so you can wipe little things that you need to wipe off, and then you don't leave lint all over them. Okay, so now that's that part. Now when we do the front, and I'm going to pretend like I do this right on the first try. I don't always get it right on the first try, so don't feel bad if you make several. Now, I didn't do this ahead of time. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't have it all ready to go and just going to plop it on there and leave you to your own devices. Unless you can cut them out by hand, and if you can, I'm going to use my Big Shot. So I need to, first thing you need to do is take your ruler and hold it diagonal, corner to corner, which would be diagonal. Make a line. Do it the other way. And the line doesn't have to go all the way across. It just needs to crisscross in the center. And do it again. And then where your crisscross is the exact center. So then you're going to find your die cut, your die, I mean. And I believe it's this one. Yeah, this one's a little bit smaller, but a little bit smaller is better than a little bit bigger. That's my opinion when you're going to cut these. Now, the trick is to get the circle in the center of the paper. So that means you're going to want on your die these little teeth thing go down. Now, something else. Let me try to get this in the right order. I didn't write these tips down. When you are doing a die cut, normally you have to do it on the side so that of the picture, so that it doesn't become the opposite side. Like if I needed a square cut out right here and I flipped the paper over and cut it right here, it would obviously, when you flip it back, be on the wrong side. However, since this is a circle and it's going in the center, we could turn it over and it doesn't matter. You don't have to remember to do it on the opposite side of what you need. Okay, so we get our big shot out. I'm going to do it this way. I know most of it shows under the camera. It's this long and it's kind of heavy. And you take this plate that comes with it, and then you take the little extra spacer, which is very staticky, and that's why Oz's hair is on there. Not that the dog gets on it, but the hair gets on my shirt. TMI. Okay, so then you put this one, which is the one you put the paper and the thing in between. You put one down. Then you put the paper down. And then you put the circle on here and you center it. Now, I'm going to turn it. Well, maybe I can do it this way. Let me stand up and see. You want the circle to be centered with the X in the middle. And I'm eyeballing it. Then you want to kind of slide this in so that you don't move the paper, and lay it down, trying not to move the die on the paper. Then you're going to, see, I'm going to have to turn it. Then you're going to have to feed it through. And what happens is those little teeth cut out the circle in the paper. It's going to make a noise. There we go. And let's see how close I got to doing it on the first try. If I did, then we can all do "And the Crowd Roars." Sorry about this extra noise, but I'm setting that out of the way. So let's see how well I did. Plus you get the nifty center. And I'm sure you can't see it, but you can see it on this side. There's this nifty border around here. And I save all of these. You can use them for all kinds of stuff. All right, let's see how well I did. Look at that. I got it on the first try. You know why too, though? Because my circle is a little bit smaller than the circle. Kind of wish I'd picked a different backing paper now that I look at this. But there's a lot of flowers in this, and they're in a garden. The flowers are all mixed up, and so we're going to have a lot of flowers. This is not, I'll be honest with you, mixing flowers. I love flowers. I love flowers, and I love this kit. Love, love, love it. It's hard for me to mix flowers like this, even though the writing card it's not plain. There's a pattern on there. I don't know if you can see it on there, but there's some white flowers on there. Okay, then we always put the die back together in with the others. You see, I keep them in a CD cover, and you put it away immediately so you don't lose anything. And that's how you do that. That was just extra. I'm not even going to charge you any extra for that lesson. Okay, now remember, this is going to open from the side. So we want to put our picture this way so it's right side up. And I'm not sure if I'm going to worry about trimming this. We've already got the circle in the center. I was going to trim just a smidge, but then you know what? I would have had to re-ink it. So let's just, as the old saying goes, let's just glue this puppy on. If I could take a photograph of the front of my desk right up here that you can't see, you would be like, oh my gosh, my little pen and my pencil are in a little spot. My scissors are in a little spot. My hole punches, my 1 and the 1.5 are in a little spot. My brain is in a little spot. Picture right side up. You guys almost let me do it again. Almost, almost. It's all your fault. Or it could be my fault for talking about everything on my desk and not looking at what I was doing. Okay, now flower is right side up. Yeah, there's still enough glue on there. Even though there's some on my fingers, get our cover lined up. I kind of like making it one size smaller. Makes your life really a lot easier. Okay. Then we've got our card. Now that I put the template away, we're going to do the same thing. Sorry about that extra noise, if there was any. I just hit the cord that goes to my mic because my webcam audio is not very good. And I use a webcam and not a phone. Now, when this card goes in here, we want to put the lines on the back. I almost put them on the front. And I'm just going to put them down the center. I'm okay with that. And I'll probably come back. I've got some stamps with some leaves on them. And I'll probably do that. I don't have very many stamps. Okay, so there's some lines down the middle that you can write on. I probably would have made that a little bit fancier. Maybe, you know, vintage photo might have looked better on there because it would have been a little bit darker. Look at all the glue I have on my fingers. So now we're going to, might as well just stick this in there so we don't lose. Oh, now we're going to trim the edge so we can put the card in. Just a little bit. Oh, we're going to need to put a little tab on the card too, aren't we? Okay, so you can see how thin it was that I cut off. Not very much at all. And that opened it all up all the way. We still are glued on. Life is good. Everything's been inked ahead of time. Kind of like a little bit more ink on this. Do that real quick. I like it darker a little bit on the back side because it's so white. Okay. Now, for me, for this, a brown tag or tab would be fine. So I am just going to off camera because I don't want to take time just showing you how to cut a rectangle. But I'm just going to cut a rectangle and then make it twice as wide as I want. So it'll be 1 inch long and 1 inch wide. That's not a rectangle, that's a square. And then I will just fold it in half and then put glue on it and glue it on. We'll see that in a different video. I just forgot about it for this video, so I don't have it cut, and I don't really want to mess with it in this video. So for now, we're just going to stick the card in so we don't lose track of it. And obviously, ephemera of some sort on the card. Okay. Now, we're going to glue it on this way. We want to make sure that everything is right side up. Paper's right side up. CD, right side up. Decide where you want it. Do you want it in the center? Do you want it farther up so that you can see more of these flowers? Or do you want it... I think I'm going to kind of want to see both. And then when you open it, because there's already flowers on here. So, if you guys remember how to do envelope stacks, this is just the same way. You're going to flip it over. You're going to open this up. I'm going to glue this on. Whoops. And put glue on here. Remember, we're going to glue this to the book. And then we just glue it down. Okay. Make sure it's straight. Sorry about my head. I just want to make sure it's straight. Now we're going to glue this into our book. I almost wish that was the back. I'll probably make a different card maybe. Or I'll put something on here. Fussy cut out some flowers and put them on the card. You just don't want to make it too hard to be able to, you know, bring the card in and out. Because if you make it too hard, you're just going to get caught on the cellophane all the time. I think I better leave it out like this until I put a tab on it. But you see what I mean? When you're taking it in and out, if you're not careful, whatever it is going to get caught on this lip on the way in and out. So now we're going to open this up. I'm going to make sure our ribbons are out of the way. In fact, I'm just going to move those underneath, because we're going to be gluing. Don't want to get glue on anything. Move your little wings out of the way. And we're going to put this right here on this page. Just like that. Go right across the CD cover with your glue. I still can't believe I got that circle cut. I don't know about you guys. I'm just saying. That worked out in video history for me. Now you want to make sure your pages are lined up. Make sure everybody's straight. or if they're a little bit crooked, I guess they're going to be a little bit crooked if you're going to line them up. All right, so now you have this and this, and this opens like this. You put something here, we're going to put something on here. We're going to take a piece of scrap, maybe the same. Nope, it's not wide enough. Let me, wow, I've used up all the scraps. All right, I'm going to put you on pause for just 1 second because I forgot that I was going to do this. Hold on just 1 second. Okay, geez, now I found a piece of paper. Thought that would have been easy. And we're going to put a pocket across the bottom. So let's make it one and a half inches tall. Then we'll have to measure it real quick. Let's just do that with our pencil. I'm not sure about this paper now. It's the one that's the same as the card. That's why I was thinking. I'm just going to mark it and I'm going to show you, and then I'm not going to glue it because I'm not quite sure yet. I might want to take some more, just this blue. And I know I've got the rest of that page. That is not a whole page. I just don't know where it is. So we're going to cut that off. And then we're going to glue it across here. And then when you open it, you will have a couple of these in here. Maybe trim the bottoms just a little bit, but these are the right size. You don't want to go too small. All right. Well, that kind of looks all right with the yellow. I think I'd rather have the blue. So anyway, we're running out of time for this half of the video. So this is what it's going to look like. You're just going to glue a pocket across the bottom and you'll put ephemera inside of it so that when it's closed, it will look like this with your card. When you open it, it will look like that with the thing. You know what? I think I do like the yellow. Don't forget to ink it. That'll make it look even better. On a little side note, this is the same way you make a bookmark. Okay. Then we're going to glue this on 3 sides. This is the super fast speed, which is actually kind of a normal speed for me, but I try to go to normal speed when I'm recording, because I talk really fast normally, like really fast. I probably do in the videos too and just don't realize it. Okay, let's get everything lined up. Remember, we only glue 3 sides. It's not a pocket, it's a stripe. And I did not ink this ephemera yet, so we're just going to stick it in here for the video. Don't stick it in too far right now because the glue is not dried. So just for the video, it's sticking out over the top. So now we have, so far, we have put on the cover, minus butterflies. we've put on the back, minus the surprise. We've put on page 1 with our circles that hold this ephemera. Okay. There we go with that ephemera. Then we've got our CD holder. And that's going to open, and it's going to be a pocket there. And I'm not sure what I'm going to do here, or sometimes some of these are just really pretty pictures and just the one element that covers it. If you want to put something across here, obviously you can. You have to remember about making it too fat too. It's already going to be fat enough, I promise you. All right, so that's it for this video, and I will see you in the next video, and that will be just a second for you and a day for me. I'll talk to you then. Bye-bye.